after this short intro. See you guys soon.
What I want you to want, what I want you to feel. But it's like no matter what I do, I can't convince you to just believe this is real. So let go, I'm watching you, turn your back like you always do. Face away and pretend that I'm not, but I'll be here cause you're all that I got. I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn your back on me, I won't be ignored. Time won't take this damage anymore. Don't turn your back on me, I won't be ignored. A little bit insecure, a little unconfident, cause you don't understand to do what I can, but sometimes I don't make sense. What you never want to say, but I've never had a doubt. It's like no matter what I do, I can't convince you for once just to hear me out. So let go, watching you, turn your back like you always do. Face away and pretend that I'm not, but I'll be here cause you're all that I got.
It's showtime.
Okay guys, welcome back. You are watching the STPL. I am Kix, I'm your host, caster and organizer of the STPL, and my voice is slowly starting to die. This is going to be the 6th game of today. Media versus Bull was before this. And we are on to our 3rd game between SouL versus iRk. We are currently at 1-1. And all is to play for. Now, there is a bit of history with this series. As I did say, iRk were the reason SouL didn't make it to the round 1 playoffs. And SouL are gonna want to make it there this time, as they are a very strong team. So are iRk. Let's move on over to the overlay as this heat slowly gets to me. It is getting warmer and warmer in my flat. Let me just show off my cat, who is completely melted onto the bed. She is so hot as well. And you know what? Let's move on and introduce our next players. Okay, so this time for SouL, it's going to be Spire. Now, Spire, one of their newer players, was discovered through the Have At You tournaments. He did pretty well in the first one he turned up in. Did pretty well in the other ones as well. He did well in the last one as well, but fell asleep. Now he did lose his first game for SouL this season, but that is his first game as well. So this is going to be his chance at getting his name back on the board, and his opponent is no stranger to danger. It is iRk's Jerry. Now Jerry did a lot of work in the previous season. He went 2 for 1, and the games he played were absolutely insane. One of his games on Sincha was his EVZ and his EVP, and generally they were amazing games. So he is 100% up against ZerG at the moment, but he has only played 1 game against ZerG, so he's going to look to be extending that to 2 wins in this game. Now let's have a look. It is a ZBZ, so the map features don't come into it as much, but let's have a look either way, because they are going to be moving on to Return of the King. Now, Return of the King, a very interesting 4-player map from 2008, the Incorrect OSL, where Fancy famously lost against Stork in the finals. That was the first Brood War series I ever saw, and the reason I'm sitting here today, and the reason why I put it in round 2, because in round 1 I had Judgment Day, which was one of the other 2008 maps that I remember watching from that series. I also had Sincha. Judgment Day was 2009, I think. But Sincha was my round 1 2008 Incro map. And in round 2, I thought I'd have Return of the King. I have a lot of nostalgia for that tournament, and it's understandable why. Now it's going to move on to our 3rd game here. It's going to be round 2, week 3, day 2, SouL versus iRk. Spire versus Jerry. Let's move on to the game. Okay, so this time starting us off in the top right-hand position, we do have the red ZerG fighting for iRk. It's going to be Jerry. Now his opponent spawning down here in the bottom right 5 o'clock position in the blue, fighting for SouL. It's going to be Spire. Now of course the scores are currently tied. This is a best of 5, so one team does need to win 3 games before they do win the series. Of course, it's possible that we could go to an ace match. That'll mean it'll be finish on 3-2 for one team. Could still finish 3-1 though, so kind of interested to see how this is going to go. Of course, this is a ZVZ. We do have Spire scouting in the correct path. We actually have Spire going for a 9 pool. And it looks like we have the same thing coming up from Jerry as well. So 9 pool versus 9 pool. No build order win here. And this should be an interesting game. Now ZVZ, one of my favourite matchups to watch just because it is pure... It is basically pure mechanical raw talent and skill that takes you through ZVZ. Like TBT, I would say is more strategic. There's a lot more tactics involved, but mechanically it's not as demanding. ZVZ is arguably the most mechanically demanding matchup in the game, and it's very understandable why. There's so many little intricacies in ZVZ that as a Terran player I just couldn't possibly begin to explain to you. But it may look like it goes to Ling versus Ling, Muta versus Muta, but every single click counts. Every single drone counts as well. And they did put in new maps, so they have Polaris Rhapsody, Heartbreak Ridge, or New Heartbreak Ridge even, as the case may be, and Polaris Rhapsody, that I think I mentioned that already, Neo Aztec as well. Fighting Spirit, Circuit Breaker, and I think that's it. But either way, there's 6 or 7 maps. They're all very, very fun maps to play. I personally